What is going on, guys? The Inside the Blue Podcast, episode 81. And today we're breaking down the Giants versus Eagles final game of the season, final preview of the season. It's been quite a roller coaster of a ride, for this team. It's been a win, a bunch of losses. Definitely not the season that we were hoping for. But hey, playing the Eagles to round off the season. Previous game we played against the Eagles, it was entertaining, man, despite the loss. They put up 25 points against an Eagles defense that is not very good. Their secondary is skeptical. They have a lot of people out today. Devontae Smith, I don't know if it's going to play today because of his injury. And we already heard that DeAndre Swift is not going to be playing because of an illness. But anyways, I mean, this is still a very good team, right? This Eagles team, I know they have had a rough season. It's kind of hard to say that, with the record that they have. But it's been a rough season for them because of the fact that things have not really gone smoothly. Yes, they've gotten wins, but they have been the prettiest of wins. What is up with the A.J. Brown situation and Nick Sirianni, all that stuff? Is he going to get fired? I've heard Eagles fans, get really on Sirianni and this team. And it's crazy because it's their record, right? They're complaining about having a good record. But, if we've seen the games and, how they played a lot of close games. And I think the Giants game should have been a blowout, especially in Philly, because now you go to MetLife, home field advantage for the Giants. That's a big factor. And for the Giants, I always say this: just try and keep the game close, right? Don't get blown out to round your season off. Try and fight. And I think the biggest thing that I take away from this Giants season is that they haven't given up, right? Under Brian Dable, sometimes coaches really lose the locker room and things get ugly, but I think really the only main thing that got really ugly was the Wink Martindale and Brian Dable situation and the Xavier McKinney situation. That's really off the top of my head where it was like, oh, what is going to go on with this? What is the future with Brian Dable, Wink Martindale, all that stuff. But hey, I mean, this team's fighting, and they haven't had their best season at all under Brian Dable. It's been pretty bad. Offense looks bad. Defense is skeptical in some games, and I don't know what the future is with Wink Martindale. If they're going to move on from him, or they're going to keep him and hire some guy. But yeah, I mean, with Brian Dable, he hasn't had the greatest season for sure. His record 5-11, 5-12. My bad. And I just look at this Giants team. I feel like there's more to this team than their record. I know they're 5-12, and it's definitely annoying. But I mean, with this Giants team, 5-11, not 5-12. My bad. 5-11. So, but they could be 5-12 at the end of the season. And I don't know what that means for draft picks and all that because, looking at the NFL, I'm recording this just before the game. So, I mean, last time I checked, the Patriots were tied, and we have to wait on how the Commanders and Cowboys game is. That is going to be an interesting game, I feel like, because I feel like the Commanders can actually pull away and win that game because Dallas really doesn't have anything to play for except for winning and, winning the division. But the Cowboys need help from us if we want to defeat the Philadelphia Eagles and Cowboys beat the Commanders. But I also don't really know who's playing for the Commanders and who's playing for the Cowboys, really. I don't know if Dak Prescott's sitting or what they're doing. I haven't really gotten any sort of information like that. But no Deontay Banks today. He's got a shoulder injury. He's been listed doubtful. So we will see how, Adoree Jackson does against A.J. Brown and their other wide receivers like Julio Jones. Of course, it's probably going to be a Kenneth Gainwell and maybe a Boston Scott anytime touchdown. He really didn't do much in the game against Philly. Boston Scott has been always dangerous to this Giants team. It's like whenever he plays the Giants, usually you expect the Boston Scott touchdown. Maybe that happens today. Maybe that doesn't. But, You win, Eagles are a wild card team. You lose, you really just focus on the draft. And I mean, this draft is going to be really exciting. A lot of opportunity to get better. Do they take a QB? Do they take a wide receiver? Do they take an offensive lineman? Who knows? But definitely, of course, always watch those mock drafts because they've been heating up. We did really well on the previous video with Jaden Daniels going to the Giants. That could happen. I mean, if you're in a division that if we say Caleb Williams goes to the Commanders, of course you got Dak Prescott and Jalen Hurts for the Cowboys and Eagles, and then Jaden Daniels, Heisman winner. Not that that really means anything when it comes to the NFL ball, but because we've seen what Baker Mayfield has done, other Heisman guys. But that would be a scary division if all four of those QBs are just really good. We already know two of them are really good, but if Jaden Daniels and Caleb Williams could be really good, that's a scary division. That is a really scary division. And I feel like, with these games, I want these games to be competitive. Like, I don't want to go into Philly and go into Dallas and just say, oh, these are automatic losses. Pack it up. They're going to lose. They're going to split maybe with the Cowboys, or they're going to split with the Commanders, or win both against the Commanders. I want good football in this division. And I know it's a lot to ask because, the Giants haven't drafted well. And I blame that on Dave Gettleman. I always blame it on Dave Gettleman. I blame Dave Gettleman for putting Joe Schoen in a crappy spot. Thankfully, Joe Schoen has found a way to, bring some sort of spark back to the Giants. Of course, making the playoffs in his first tenure and, hiring Brian Dable and all of this. But, I mean, speaking of, coaching, I don't really expect any coaching changes either. I honestly don't. I think Mike Kafka is going to be back. I think Wink Martindale is going to be back. And I think Brian Dable is going to be back. Because I feel like if you fire Mike Kafka, what does that mean for Brian Dable? Because, it's Brian Dable's playbook. Mike Kafka's calling the plays. Both. I think Mike Kafka's been okay this year. He hasn't been perfect at all. And I could definitely blame some games that it's just like, what the hell is he calling? Because it's not. There's been games where I'm very confused on what Mike Kafka calls. I'm honestly. And it's always on fourth down. You have Saquon Barkley. Give him the football. There should be no reason why we're running a jet sweep or any of this nonsense. Just give Saquon Barkley the ball in any way, and he'll most likely get you the first down. Don't do the tush push. Your team is not set up for the tush push. The only team that is set up that's almost a guarantee is the team that you're playing today, which is the Philadelphia Eagles. And for Saquon Barkley, we don't know the future with Saquon Barkley. We don't know if he's going to come back or he's going to sign with like the Ravens or the Bills or actually not the Bills because they have James Cook, but any team that really needs a running back. Because, if he does test free agency, I fully expect the Ravens and teams that are in need of a running back to be all over Saquon Barkley. I don't think they really care that he's been injured 4 of his last 5 seasons. They're going to take a shot on Saquon and they could hit because, the Ravens have a good O-line. And a bunch of other teams have a much better O-line than the Giants because the Giants, they rank last. They rank last in pass blocking, and they're one of the worst run blocking teams in the NFL. So, and that's what goes back to the draft is like, do you draft an offensive lineman and sign maybe Robert Hunt or someone in free agency, Kevin Zeitler or someone? All right, do you do that, or do you go the way different route and say Daniel Jones is not going to be our QB of the future. He'll start week 1 next year and we'll play out his second year. Then we'll cut him and we'll draft a guy like Jaden Daniels, or they maybe wait on Michael Penix Jr. if he somehow falls to the second round. I don't even know if he's going to fall to the second round, especially if he plays well against Michigan. And kind of really another thing I have is, are the refs going to be better today? I'm not a guy that really blames the refs because, there's always some other opportunity where you could have scored and all of that. But let's see how these refs are today. Let's see what we're working with today because last time it was an absolute crap show. And I'm not a man of excuses. Lost fair and square. it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, I'm confident in this Giants team to win today, and I'm always confident because I'm always, a guy that tries to bring up the team, even though I'm not a delusional Giants fan. I just want to go into a game excited because it's also been hard to be excited this year. You're right. This team has been, it's been bad. It's been bad. Did not expect this. I thought, the addition of Darren Waller and the addition of Jalen Hyatt would really boost this offense because they were dealing with Isaiah Hodgins, Darius Slayton, Sterling Shepard, and maybe some other guy, Reggie James, and they found a way to make the playoffs with that. So I thought if you got a good tight end when healthy, right? When healthy, Darren Waller, he doesn't stay healthy at all this year, and Jalen Hyatt, I don't think gets the ball nearly enough. I think he's starting to get more targets now, but it is what it is, right? But now we get into the Q&A, our final preview Q&A of the season. And our first question is, would you be okay with Sterling Shepard getting more playing time for the proper send-off? Of course, as you guys know, Sterling Shepard looks to be no longer a Giant after this year. It looks like him and the Giants are going to be parting ways. And yeah, I would not mind Sterling Shepard getting that extra reps this game. This game, win or lose, it really doesn't mean much. Obviously, there's some bigger things if the Giants do lose. But if they win, it doesn't change the outcome of if they're going to make the playoffs or not. It doesn't matter. Second question. Do you think we win this game if Tyrod plays and with multiple Eagles out? Now, Tyrod Taylor, after replacing Tommy DeVito, played well, right? He played well. He played a pretty good enough game against the Rams, except for his horrible decision-making on that pick and the behind the receiver throws, because he just sometimes Jalen Hyatt, you got to hit him right on the money, or else it's gonna be behind him because he's so fast. And I hope Tyrod fixes that this week against the Eagles. Eagles are a banged up team, and we all know that they have Jason Kelce still under center. They're still very good online. So I mean, if you could try and maybe create some pressure, then do it. Maybe send more blitzes at Jalen Hurts, but you also gotta watch out because that guy's got legs, and if you let him run all day long, it's gonna be a nightmare for this Giants defense if Jalen Hurts is able to just run away and get first downs like that. But the third question, a very nice question, and all it is I just wanted to say congrats on your first year covering the New York Giants. Appreciate the content you put out there. Keep it up. Thank you guys. I appreciate that question. I really do enjoy these, and it's been a tough year being excited about these games because they haven't had the greatest season. Hopefully next year is going to be better. Of course, I'm going to be breaking down this team next year. It's going to be really fun. Plus, with the draft coming up, I'm going to, I got a lot of content in the future for sure. Playoffs, what I think is going to happen in the playoffs, more team tiers, all that stuff. And of course, we still have the Rangers and we still have the New York Yankees. Spring training's coming up very soon, a few months from that. But yeah, this has been really fun. I enjoy making these videos all the time for you guys. It's not only just for you, but I just enjoy making them myself, even though if the viewership isn't there or anything, doesn't really matter to me, man. I just love making these videos. Of course, we're close to 100 subscribers after breaking down the Giants, Rangers and Yankees. So I definitely appreciate all of the support for this channel. I really do. I see, I really do. I just really just enjoy this. It's kind of hard to put into words, but it's been fun, man. But anyways, guys, it's been episode 81. Breaking down the Giants, taking on the Eagles. Let's beat those birds, baby. Let's go, Giants. Yeah. See you guys in the next one. Peace.